Good evening. We begin with breaking news in West Phoenix, where police are on the scene in a neighborhood near 85th Avenue and Indian School. These are live pictures from the scene. We've reached out to Phoenix police for information on what happened, but so far we have not heard back. You can see several police cars in the area. We've also seen the police helicopter shining its spotlight as it flies over the neighborhood. Be sure and stay with 12 News for the latest updates. Also breaking right now, multiple people have been taken to the hospital at Joint Base Andrews, that's near Washington, D.C., after opening a suspicious package filled with white powder. CNN reports that a building on base was also evacuated. Several people said they felt sick after being near that powder. Hazmat teams have responded and so far have not detected anything abnormal. The scene is being investigated by the military's Office of Special Investigations. CNN reports that political messages were also found inside that package of powder. Joint Base Andrews is used to transport many VIPs, including the president and vice president. However, neither of them was on base. As the record-long government shutdown continues to drag on with no end in sight, travelers are getting ready for what could be a nightmare at airports across the country tomorrow. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis. In just a matter of hours, the FAA will reduce flights at 40 major airports across the country, and Phoenix Sky Harbor is one of them. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is at Sky Harbor right now. And Chase, how many flights are delayed right now?
Mark, we're seeing several right now here at Sky Harbor. Take a look at the board right here. Not only do you have delays like this, but we're also starting to see some cancellations pop up. It's for several airlines, and it's pretty much every single board you look at for departures. You're going to come across either a delay or a canceled flight. Now, this all really started to pop up about 3 hours ago because that's when there was a reduction in staffing. And according to tracking site Flight Radar 24, 27 flights have already been canceled for tomorrow. Now, tonight I spoke with a former air traffic controller who talked about the impact this government shutdown is having on those essential workers. When checking into your flight, it's a word you don't want to see.
That's pretty frustrating because we have plans back at home.
Delays lighting up next to several flights headed out of Phoenix, including Zach's flight to San Antonio.
First, it got delayed from 7:54 until 8:09, and now it's delayed to 8:40.
We spoke with another Zach who says while his flight isn't delayed at this time, that doesn't mean he's resting easy.
All of the stuff that's been happening is just causing a lot more stress than it otherwise would have been.
These delays and cancellations, the result of the FAA reducing the number of flights by 4% on Friday with a 10% reduction by next week. A situation Tim Kiefer, a professor at Embry-Riddle and former air traffic controller with 22 years experience, has never seen before. And he's been through a shutdown or two.
I was working during the 2019 35-day, which at the time was the longest shutdown.
He knows exactly what these now unpaid air traffic controllers are going through.
You cannot pay the rent sometimes. You cannot pay for the babysitter. You can't pay for food. And that is an additional stress to the air traffic controller that they don't need.
However, he believes this reduction is necessary.
They're trying to maintain integrity in the system and maintain the highest level of safety to try to basically slow down the problem.
Even with this drastic change, Kiefer says people shouldn't be worried about flying.
Air travel is still the safest mode of transportation, and if you get on an airplane, whether it's now or over the holidays, it will be safe.
Which does bring some relief.
I just want everyone to take a deep breath, especially me, because I need to take a deep breath.
So if you are flying out tomorrow, be sure to check in on your flight status to see if it is delayed or canceled. But pretty much every passenger we spoke with said a big concern for them coming up is what this is all going to look like for Thanksgiving. We know it's one of the busiest travel weeks across the country. When I was speaking with Kiefer, he says it's usually a time where airlines add additional flights to make up for that heavy flux of passengers. But he says if this shutdown is still going on, that's not going to happen. And he says these delays and cancellations will continue on through that time.
Feel bad for people who have to fly and are in that situation, but you know who I feel worst for? The air traffic controllers. They've been working nonstop without a paycheck. Same for TSA. Is there a chance or a concern that air traffic controllers could eventually organize a system-wide strike?
You know, I did ask Kiefer about that to see if it is at all possible that, they could go on strike. And he told me that's actually illegal. It's against the law for them to go on strike. He cited back in 1981 when there was a strike for air traffic controllers. And the president at the time, Ronald Reagan, actually said it was illegal and fired all of them. So he said, no, air traffic controllers cannot go on strike. Now, he did say that if they do get too mentally overwhelmed, we know it's an incredibly stressful job. He says that they are encouraged to take time off if they are feeling that stress. But as far as a strike, he says that, they have to be there. They have to have a log of coming into work. So he says that a strike isn't really possible because it is against the law, but it is possible that some of them may be taking some time off just due to that mental stress.
Boy, what a headache. All right, Chase, thanks. Well, you might remember the story we had a while back of the woman who was falsely accused a former Bachelor star of impregnating her. Well, now she's facing new charges, accused of doing the same thing to a different man. Bianca Bono is with us. And Bianca, this thing just gets stranger and stranger.
Just when you think it can't, it does. We've reported on the charges Laura Owens faces after accusing Clayton Eckerd of getting her pregnant with twins. She filed a paternity case against him in 2023, and it turns out she filed a civil complaint against another Valley man in 2021, alleging the same thing. She's now being criminally charged for all of it.
Laura Owens.
In a stunning development, as Laura Owens is preparing for trial, accused of defrauding former Bachelor star Clayton Eckerd with altered sonograms while claiming to be pregnant with his twins, she's being charged with another paternity scheme. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office announcing Thursday that the 35-year-old Scottsdale woman is facing 7 new felony charges, in addition to the 7 she was indicted on back in May. In August of 2023, Owens filed a paternity case against Clayton Eckerd, claiming he impregnated her. Records show the family court hearings that followed revealed glaring inconsistencies in her story, including an altered ultrasound image, a fabricated pregnancy video, and she was caught lying under oath, all shockingly similar to what had happened 2 years prior. Records show Owens filed a civil complaint against a Scottsdale man after he had decided not to continue a relationship with her. She then claimed she was pregnant by him. He answered the complaint, writing Owens was not pregnant. And when he reverse image searched a sonogram that Owens had shared in an effort to prove her claim, he found it on a blog post belonging to someone else from 2015. In a counterclaim, he wrote that Owens was trying to force him into a relationship with her. It took years and thousands of dollars in legal fees for that civil complaint to be dismissed. But now, 4 years later, Owens' own civil complaint has led to her being criminally charged. Investigators with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office finding she falsified documents. And now she's indicted for perjury, fraud, forgery, and identity theft. Greg Woodnick, the attorney who previously represented the victim in 2021 and currently represents Eckerd, releasing a statement to 12 News, saying they're not surprised, adding Miss Owens is a serial fraudster who through her con has tortured victims with faked pregnancies. The victims appreciate MCAO's continued efforts to seek justice.
And as this criminal case unfolds here in Arizona, another case is underway in California involving a third man who Owens has also accused of impregnating her. For years, Owens has renewed a restraining order against that man, and just this week, the case was dismissed. Owens is due back in court later this month. We're live in studio. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. Tonight, Phoenix police are looking for the person you see here. They say he's a person of interest in a shooting that left a 16-year-old boy dead last month. Officers believe that he may have vital information for detectives. They really want to talk to this guy. 16-year-old Trey Bomelin was one of 3 teens shot on October 2nd near 40th Street in Rozier. The 2 other victims survived. 3 more teens were arrested and charged with murder. Anyone with information is asked to contact Phoenix police. A woman who worked in a Valley hospital is accused of stealing a patient's debit card and then going on a shopping spree while that patient was recovering from surgery. Court documents say 50-year-old Tammy Watts worked as a housekeeper at Honor Health Thompson Peak. Somehow, she was able to get a hold of the victim's credit card after their belongings were turned over to hospital staff. Police say that's when Watts used the stolen card at various convenience stores and a Mesa Safeway. But she made one big mistake. Police were able to track her down when she used her personal rewards number in order to get a discount. She's now facing multiple felony charges. On Her Health has declined to comment. Well, we have an update tonight on that breaking news we brought you at the top of the show. Phoenix police investigating a shooting that's left one man with serious injuries. It happened near 85th Avenue and Indian School. These are live pictures coming from the scene. Police say they are actively looking for a suspect right now, and officers are spread out across that area investigating. We've also seen the police helicopter shining a spotlight, searching that neighborhood, trying to find the suspect. Definitely avoid this area as they continue that search tonight. Well, for those of you waiting for your SNAP benefits to be paid, the Trump administration has until tomorrow to pay those benefits in full after a federal court ruling this afternoon. The judge in Rhode Island said the administration didn't do enough to ensure that SNAP benefits would be paid this week. He added that the government can use child nutrition funding as well as contingency funds to make those payments. The Trump administration says it plans to appeal. Now, this comes as the city of Phoenix launches a food drive to help families in need. Mayor Kate Gallego is asking anyone who can help to donate food, money, or maybe even just volunteer time. Food banks say that cash goes the furthest. Just $1 can provide about 10 meals. There are dozens of drop-off locations for food across the city. And every family going without SNAP benefits right now is dealing with a really scary and tense situation. Tonight, 12 News journalist Maria Staub spoke with a Tempe family that finds himself in that predicament. And Maria, for them, this couldn't have come at a worse time.
That's right. Not only are they missing their food assistance, but they're also still rebuilding after that destructive microburst that hit Tempe nearly a month ago. Video shows the storm tearing through Belen Valencia's roof.
I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I was just like, I can't believe what was happening.
The family of five's trailer home was left destroyed. So this is where you got the most damage?
This is the worst damage right here.
They've been staying with relatives nearby, but they still have to pay their mortgage on a home they can't live in.
So that's been hard.
Weeks later, Belen still doesn't know if insurance will come close to covering the more than $35,000 in damage they're anticipating.
Are we gonna be able to fix it? Are we not gonna be able to fix it? Are we gonna have to knock it down and find something else? But everything's so expensive.
And now, another unexpected burden, finding a way to feed their family.
And that's really hurting us right now.
On November 1st, their $500 in monthly SNAP benefits never arrived after a federal government shutdown halted funding.
That's when it hit us hard just because of the situation that we're going through right now.
Belen says they've been cutting back on groceries just to afford basic necessities.
Right now, everything counts for us. Every penny counts for us.
Between storm damages and everyday expenses, Belen is hoping food assistance is restored sooner than later.
That would be a miracle. It would help us out a lot for our family, for the Thanksgiving, and for just in general, just in everything.
And now, as families wait to see if SNAP payments will arrive after a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to provide full November benefits, Governor Katie Hobbs told KTAR News today she's considering declaring a state of emergency, which could open a limited pool of funds for SNAP recipients. Reporting in studio, Maria Staubs, 12 News.
Maria, thanks. Still